Hi, I'm Caitlin, and this is Book Chats. Today's Top 5 Wednesday is your top 5 most anticipated pre-orders through the end of 2015. Top 5 Wednesday was created by Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey, and I will put information in the description about how to join yourself and how to find a list of all the top 5 Wednesdayers. So this topic is one I'm pretty excited in. I don't pre-order a lot of books, so this isn't all pre-orders, but I would consider it anticipated pre-orders and books that I basically already have on hold at the library because I am so excited. Or if they're not in the library catalog yet, I'm waiting. I'm watching. I'll hold you as soon as you're in the catalog. So without further ado, here are my top 5 pre-orders for the rest of 2015. So book number 5 is actually the one that's coming out latest in the year, and it's Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. So this is the third and I believe final book in their it's a series, but a series of related books, so like companion novels that kind of has a little bit of a thread running throughout, but it's this sci-fi series that really surprised me with their first book, which was These Broken Stars, by how it was really quite sci-fi and had some twists, and these ladies aren't afraid to pull their punches, and I just really enjoyed that book. I've been listening to all these on audiobook because that's how I've been able to get them, and I do actually really enjoy the audiobooks. So if that's a format you like to listen to, I definitely check them out there, but I'm really excited to complete this series and be done with it. I really hope it's actually the last book and I'm not just making that up. And I'm also excited to meet this new couple. I think we've met each of the characters separately before, but now we get to see them interact together. So book number 4 is, I'm sure, going to pop up on a couple other people's lists, and it is Winter by Marissa Meyer. Again, I'm so excited for the conclusion of this series. This is the final book in the Cinder Quartet, although there was an extra book kind of thrown in as a prequel that I haven't read, and I'm not sure I will, just because I was so frustrated. I've been waiting for Winter for more than a year. Usually these books were published in January, February, but this one is coming out later. Granted, I heard that it's honking big for that, and I'm super excited to see the Snow White retelling and just kind of what goes on in Marissa Meyer's world and see the conclusion to this story. The third book is actually the first in a series by an author, I think in a series, but it might be a standalone, by an author whose first trilogy I really enjoyed and just blew me out of the water. That is Walk on Earth a Stranger by Rae Carson. Rae Carson wrote the Girl of Fire and Thorns trilogy, which I couldn't remember when I was doing my previous video. Oh! I picked up the Girl of Fire and Thorns on recommendations from several people who talked about it being really interesting because of the main character and how she deals with kind of weight and overeating kind of things, and I loved it because the author really also, those books have talk a lot about faith and talk about faith in a way that felt very real to me. Even though the author, I believe, is agnostic, she clearly knows people of faith and doesn't denigrate them or their views, I guess, and I love it so much. I am hoping that Rae Carson is at Y'all Fest this fall, and that if she is, I get to meet her because I just want to hug her if that's allowed. I don't know if you can hug authors, but just tell her so much I love this. But I'm really anticipating this next series for her. I don't know, I know a little bit about what it's about. It's kind of a Western with some magical realism elements. It's not going to be a complete fantasy like The Girl of Fire and Thorns was, but I'm just so excited to see whatever else Rae Carson writes that I am really anticipating this book. These last 2 are books that I actually am planning to pre-order. I have to call. I want to pre-order them at an actual bookstore called Addendum Books. It's in the Twin Cities, and it specializes in young adult and children's literature. Number 2 is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I don't really need to say a lot about why I'm actually purchasing this book. I have a big connection to this story because I read what was 5 iterations ago on Fiction Press back in the day, and have been following Sarah ever since. And so I just feel a big connection to this series, and I will probably buy every book in this series in multiple formats by the end of my book collecting. Finally, the number 1 pre-order that I have is actually a debut novel. I'm so excited about this. It's called Truest. It's by Jackie Lee Summers. I am so excited about this book coming out. Before I started following BookTube, I was following authors online and just their journey and their pre-publication journey, and thought it was so interesting. So I started following her blog and immediately loved it because I found out that Jackie Lee and I have the same favorite books. We both are madly in love with Melina Marchetta and her novels, and specifically, yes, she's written the Lumatere Chronicles with Finnegan of the Rock, is the first of, but also her contemporary books are, in my personal opinion, better, and Jackie also loves her contemporary books. She introduced me to the Janie Nelson. I had had Janie Nelson's The Skies Everywhere on my to-read list, but I was almost going to pull it off without reading it, and she was like, you have to read Janie Nelson, and I did, and it was amazing, and we have very similar books that we love. And I also really love the way that on her blog, Jackie talks about her faith, her OCD. Jackie has OCD and has gone through therapy for it, and kind of talks about that journey on her blog, and also her writing, and she talks about each of those things separately, but also how they intertwine in her life and how they affect each other. And I just love her blog. I love that we have the same taste in authors, and I'm so excited to read her book. I'm really hoping that I love it. If I love it, I'll definitely be talking to you about it on this channel, and if I don't love it, I'm just gonna secretly not talk about it. I don't know. I'll probably talk about it either way. But I'm so excited for it to come out. It comes out on September 1st, as does Queen of Shadows, my two top books, but I'm so excited for them both to come out. I'm just so excited for the rest of this year. I also want to have a small little side note that this is like the Raven King memorial list, because the Raven King was totally going to be on this until I found out 2 weeks ago that it had been delayed till next year. And I want Maggie Stiefvater to have the time that she needs to write the best book possible, but let me know down below if there are any books that you have pre-ordered that are coming through the end of 2015, or are there any books that you're anticipating and hoping to put on hold at your library if it gets put in the catalog, or hoping to request at your library. And I will see you next week. Bye!